steaming and straining and just cooling. So collie.
Why?
Really good. Well, here's a good idea. I've got supper, you see. I've got supper on the go. So, cottage cheese. Your nemesis. That's not right, is it? No, I love cottage cheese. He doesn't.
I'll be off down Mackie D's if you get any cottage cheese.
Cottage pie. Could you cottage pie?
Oh,
So
I'm out in a sweat now.
I made a lovely bottom. I made a lovely bottom for the cottage pie. So, you know, mince, really rich tomatoes, lots of red wine. There's some peppers, leeks, garlic, oregano, thyme, and there's something mince in there as well, luckily, obviously. And I've just cooked that for about 3 hours, really slowly. So it's just so gorgeous and rich. So then I thought, right, well, I'm just going to put the mashed potato on top. Easy is what I normally do, a bit of buttercream, lovely jubbly. Then I thought, cauliflower cheese, because I saw in the fridge there was half a cauliflower, and then there was one of these little green ones, okay? And then made my mind work, and I thought, well, instead of just doing mash on top, let's combine two of my favourite things in the whole wide world, cauliflower cheese and cottage pie. So that's what you've got. That's what we're doing. So I've got this. So I cooked these in a little bit of boiling water. I blanched them, then I cooled them to keep their lovely green colour. I can't remember the name of this. Someone's going to tell me. Is it Romano? Something? I think it's a cauliflower Romano, something like that. So I just blanched those really quickly to keep that nice green colour. This is the half cauliflower, which I'm just going to add now to this potato, which has been simmering for a little while. So they're just beginning to cook. So I'm going to put my collie into that. Put that back on the stove, let that cook down. The reason that's pink is it wasn't my lipstick. That is pink because of beetroot. I cut it after I cut a beetroot the other day. So that's why it looks a bit pink. So I'm going to put that back on the stove, let that cook. You're going to come back because I'm going to then be ready to mash that. And I'm going to also by then have a white sauce ready to add a load of cheese to and other little ingredients to make the cauliflower cheese sauce. So, go and take the weight off your slingbacks, Mr. Hackett, and put your feet up and come back. See me in a minute. So, I am mashing up the white cauliflower. Now I have since looked up the name of that cauliflower. This is called a Brocco flower or a Romanesco broccoli. Okay, that's the name. I knew it was Romesco Romano or something like that. I call it a Romanesco cauliflower, but actually it's a Brocco flower or a.
So it's a combination of a cauliflower and broccoli.
So yeah, I think that's what it is. Anyway, it's a beautiful colour, isn't it? And look how it just just the tips of it, that lovely green. So and I boiled it and then I put it under cold water to stop the cooking, and that's just sort of set that really pretty green in there. Right. So this mash is going to be just roughly mashed, okay? I want texture. I don't want it to be a smooth mashed potato. You're not going to get that anyway with the collie and the leaves in there, but just sort of broken up like that. Good wallop of butter in there, of course. Silly not to. Have to do it. Makes all the difference, doesn't it? It's better when you get it in the pan as well.
Is that all the butter you put in?
I got a big cheese sauce with over the top as well. I made cheese sauce, which I'll come to in just a second.
Well, you haven't made it. It's white sauce, isn't it?
It's white sauce. I haven't put the cheese in yet. All right. Look at you. You know what you're doing, don't you? You know what you're talking about. Keeping me in check. Keeping me in, you know.
Somebody has to.
All right. So I put a bit of salt and pepper in here as well. I'm just going to stir that butter through. Now, if you're not going to do the cheesy sauce on top, you can enrich your collie and your potato mash with a bit of creme fraiche maybe as well. Quite nice, wouldn't it? But as we're putting the sauce on, we're not going to bother doing that because that would just be too much. So, I'm going to do some spoonfuls of this on top of the mince. Okay. Like that. Again, do you know I've got dropsies, haven't I? I'll just stir that butter in a bit. There we go. So we just put top of this. Now, ideally, you want to put this in quite a deep dish so you can fit everything in there, okay? So actually, I mean, you know, just having a collie and potato mash is really nice on top, isn't it, anyway? It's one of my faves. So, this is autumn, isn't it? This is autumn comfort food. Now, I'm going to stop. I'm going to stop there. I'm not going to put any more on. You can eat that, which I know you will. Then going to dot on top of that this collie. Making it up as I go along, John, could be a disaster. It could be fantastic. I don't know about you. I think this is going to be quite interesting. Now, if you can't get hold of this, then obviously you could use broccoli on top to give it that little bit of colour. But these are fairly easy to get hold of. I mean, they're not as exotic as they used to be. Okay. Cheesy sauce. Right. I've got a white sauce, which you make the usual way with butter and flour and milk. So you melt the butter, you add the flour, you stir it in, then you add milk to it, you bring it up to the boil and you simmer it for a couple of minutes, and that just cooks out the flour. It cooks out the flour taste. What happens is, as it comes up to the boil, the milk starts to absorb all of the flour, and as it boils, the flour bursts and thickens the sauce. That's the chemical side behind it, okay? Or other way, actually, I think it's the flour absorbs the milk, then it explodes, and then you get the thickness. It's that way around. Salt and pepper in there. Now I'm going to add my secret ingredients, which is always my white sauce. I have English mustard, I have whole grain mustard, I have Dijon mustard. So I add a little bit of each. About a teaspoon of each too. And I know people are probably going, oh, she's mixing the spoon of the different mustards. I am. And I don't care. You care though, I can see you're twitching, John.
No, I don't mind.
You don't mind? So, mix that in. Then I put Worcestershire sauce in, a good wallop of that into my sauce. And then this. Now, earlier on in lockdown, a lot of cheese companies, literally overnight, dairies, they lost their income overnight because basically the restaurants all shut, didn't they? So they had nowhere to sell their cheese, and a lot of cheese, independent cheesemakers and dairies, they sell their cheese, a lot of it to restaurants and then online sales and everything. Anyway, there's a company called Caws Cynarth in Wales, and they make the most beautiful cheese. They do a beautiful Pearl Lass and a Pearl Wyn, which are it's a blue cheese and a brie type. Wonderful. And we bought loads, didn't we? There was like 2 or 3 kilograms of blue cheese turned up, and it's beautiful brie. Anyway, this is another of their cheeses. Now, normally this comes in like little circles and enclosed in some cream coloured wax, and it's called creef, okay, which means strong in Welsh. So that was Winnie just sniffing.
Yeah, she sniffed the cheese.
She sniffed the cheese. So it's basically a strong cheddar that they do.
Organic.
There, and organic. Anyway, very kindly the other day they said, would you like some of the cheese? And I said, oh, yes, please. So they sent it to me in their catering pack.
3
kilograms of this. It is the most amazing cheese. Now, obviously, if you want to buy it in a 3 kilogram catering pack, that's absolutely fine. You can't buy it in the little rounds, but I love this cheese. This is one of my favourites. So I'm going to use some beautiful chunks of this and stir that into the cheese sauce as well. Okay. Now I might just need to pop it back on the heat again, John. So you might need to just come back when I've done all of that. But as you can see, I'm going to be utterly generous with this amazing cheese because it is so delicious. All right. I'm going to take off some big chunks of it. Oh, yeah, lovely. Okay, do you think I've done enough yet? Must think. Probably. Right, so I'm just going to stir this in. Ideally, I'd have broken it up, but come back when it's all melted through, and I'll finish my thingy off. This cheese is so beautiful. It's got a lovely strength to it. What I really like about a good, strong cheddar type cheese is you get that twang. The back of that little twingy twang of acidity at the back of your cheek makes your mouth watering. It just makes you want to eat more because you can't help yourself. It's creamy, nutty, delicious. What I'll do is I'll put the link down underneath this film so you can go and buy some yourself from Cascanar. They can send it to you. They have an online shop. Delicious. Right. Let's make cauliflower cheese cottage pie. So, this sauce, I haven't tried that, have I? Lovely. So, just going to spoon the cheese sauce over the top. Now, I might not use all of this, but this freezes brilliantly. So we can make it for a macaroni cheese or something another time. Because I want to put some, I don't want to obviously drown it in this cheese sauce. Just enough to be soaked up by all the collie and potato. Excuse Winnie. And next door, having a little chat. Alright, so all I'm going to do now is put this into the oven. Here we go, 180 for about 30 minutes until it's all bubbling and golden brown on top. And then you're going to dig in and you've got the green cauliflower, you've got the mashed potato cauliflower, and then you've got the gorgeous mince underneath. Absolutely blooming lovely. Just like that cheese. What do you think?
Looks.
It smells amazing. It really does. So I'm going to just spoon through the cheese sauce and the mash and the cauliflower on top. God, this is going to be divine. I mean, just the most glorious spoonful of comfort and autumn yumminess. I love that. The cheese sauce on top is just gives such a beautiful crispy topping. Let me just have a little taste of it all together. Very hot. Oh yeah. Oh yeah, this is divine. It's lighter as well, having that cauliflower with the potato, not just on its own. It's just so good. So scrummy. Right, that is cauliflower cheese cottage pie. Done. Scrummy.